Hello, everyone, and welcome to Ferris Sports Update. I'm your host, Rob Bentley. Thanks for tuning in. On today's first show of the second semester, we'll check in with the Ferris State men's basketball, women's basketball, and hockey squads and get an update on their seasons. We'll start first, though, with Bulldog basketball and joined by Noah King, senior forward. And Noah, first of all, welcome to the show.
Glad to be here. Thanks for having me on the show.
Bulldogs 18-1 overall, ranked 5th in the country. Could you have scripted a better start here for your senior season?
No, not really. It's been a blast so far, and just looking forward to the last half of the season.
Certainly off to a great start. What have been some of the keys, I guess? Obviously, you had a great nucleus of guys coming back from last year's team. What have been some of the keys here early on in the year?
The main key has just been staying focused and going day by day, not getting too far ahead of ourselves, and just knowing that, teams are coming after us, giving us their best game, so we have to be able to roll with the punches and just stay together throughout the season.
This past weekend, took on two Upper Peninsula teams, Michigan Tech, Northern Michigan, both very good basketball teams, and obviously nice to be back at home after playing a couple games on the road. There were some tightly contested games. Yeah,
it was. Northern and Michigan Tech, they are always some tough teams to guard, tough teams to play, but we were able to come out with the win, so pretty good.
As we go to some of the highlights, we'll start first with Thursday's game against Michigan Tech, and obviously they came in with the GLIAC's leading scorer, and Kyle Monroe, but you guys did a pretty good job on him defensively. What was some of the biggest issues, I guess, in trying to slow him down?
Well, Kyle's a real versatile player. He's been really good since I've been playing against him. He's always had pretty good games against us. The main thing is like the shooting, just Michigan Tech's actions, just guarding them. Any of their action, because a lot of times they always have 3 or 4 shooters on the court, and then he just gives a different look because he can score in all 3 areas of the court. So, but we did a good job, Keith and Jalen especially. We buckled down all week and just game plan for him. And we stuck to the game plan, and we were able to frustrate him a little bit. And he kind of got off to a little bit of a slow start in the first half, but I think he ended up getting a couple buckets towards the end of the game. But we did a real good job.
I know getting off to a fast start was obviously a big point of emphasis for you guys after a couple slow starts the week before. Had much better first halves here this past weekend.
Yeah, before this weekend, we've had a few games where we came out real slow in the first half, and had to climb back into the game and win it not overtime, but in the second half. And that's something that we were harping on, like later in the season when the games get tougher and more important. It's going to be harder and harder to do that. So our main key for us was to start off strong and try to keep the pedal to the floor.
Obviously, a pretty balanced lineup here against Michigan Tech, and how important is it to have that balance where on any given night anybody's capable of really putting some points up?
I feel like that just gives us that much more potency on offense, and it's hard to game plan for a team who has a lot of different players who can go off on any night. So I just feel like it just makes us that much more versatile and harder to guard.
Obviously able to get up and down the floor here and put up 85 points here against Michigan Tech, and a nice way to open the weekend with an 85-66 win.
Yeah, for sure. Well, definitely.
Came back on Saturday then. Before we get to some of the highlights of Saturday's game, we took on Northern Michigan, but a lot of former players back and alums with the Coach Tom Ludwig era reunion.
Yeah.
What was it like to have those guys in the building?
Oh, it was real cool. Seeing them at practice, we saw Coach Ludwig and one of the players, David Tuck. They came and talked to us after practice and just getting their perspective on how their season was and the success they had. Because I think they were kind of chasing them because they have 4 GLIAC conference tournament wins, and right now we're sitting at 3 and going for the 4th one this year. So that's just giving us a milestone to go and try to take. And it's just great to see all those guys come back, and the crowd showed up for a Northern Michigan game. It just brings that much more energy to the gym, and I mean, who doesn't love playing that type of environment?
Big game against Northern Michigan as we go to the highlights, and obviously a team that is contending here in the GLIAC North, and was just a game back of you guys coming into the contest.
Yeah, it was. For Northern Michigan, they're an up-and-coming team. They had a lot of returners, especially their guys Nava and Isaiah Johnson. They're the 2 guys who we kind of game plan for the most. We did a good job for the most part of the game, but we just couldn't break the seal and try to, take the lead back, because they were real tough and they just didn't give up at all. Kind of made it real exciting at the end of the game, but we were still able to pull it out. So that was good.
Obviously, on the offensive end, kind of an adjustment you had to make here. They played a lot of zone defense, 2-3 zone against you, for the entire afternoon.
Yeah, teams are starting to do that more often on us. I think Coach Brown was saying that Northern played zone not I mean, probably maybe like 20% of the time, but I feel like they played zone for the whole second half against us because we've been known to struggle against it a lot. But the main thing was just attacking the gaps and getting into the middle, just trying to be more aggressive in the zone, and we were able to get a couple shots. And I mean, we had a couple layups rim in and out, but we got enough of them to fall to pull the game out.
We'll see you knock down a couple threes here in the second half. What's it like knowing that they have confidence in you and you have the green light to shoot the ball?
Oh, it's great. Every time I shoot the ball, I feel like everybody thinks it's going in. And that's just a great feeling to have, just being able, because I know I work hard on shooting threes and just trying to do what I can to get the team to win. If the team needs a lift, I feel like I need to hit a big shot, or just if I get the shot that I want, I just know I got to knock it down. So it just helps me a lot with my confidence.
You're able to build a 14-point lead with some good shots here in the second half, but Northern Michigan, as good teams do, able to rally back and had a chance going down the stretch.
Yeah, that was it's just one thing. We had a little bit of difficulty guarding a three. We are a pressing team, and a lot of times when teams break it, to leave a lot of the shooters open. So our main focus is like we just have to make sure we concentrate, not concentrate, but like communicate and get back on defense and transition, and recognize shooters and make them, not shoot the ball, get them to dribble instead of shoot.
74-71 the final score. And now this week you hit the road. We'll start first with Thursday night's game, Purdue Northwest, and first time you've ever faced Purdue Northwest going on the road here this week.
Yeah, that's I've never seen them play yet. I watched I watched a little bit of film against them, like when we were like filming or preparing for like Davenport or somebody else. But should be interesting. Davenport was a new team. They gave us a little bit of a run. So these new teams are coming in with no fear. They're just coming in, just trying to prove their point and make their mark on the GLIAC, for the upcoming years and for recruitment purposes. So we just have to make sure that we come in and take care of business, so that we can keep moving forward to our goals.
Obviously, following the Purdue Northwest game on Saturday night, you take on Grand Valley State, West Michigan rivalry game. What's it like as a player to play in that game?
It's always fun going there and trying to combat their crowd, because last year we went there, the crowd was real hectic. So I expect nothing less when we get there on Saturday. I feel like it's a Saturday night game, so people are probably going to be there. That's going to be a real fun game, real fun environment to play in.
Well, what are some of the goals here for your team, obviously going down into the stretch and the final month of the regular season?
Just take each game all these games count the same. All these games are important when it comes into tournament seeding or for the GLIAC tournament or for the NCAA tournament. And obviously we have goals to win the regular season and win the GLIAC tournament. Try to go as far as we can in the NCAA tournament. We left a couple check marks off the list from last year. So all our goals are to just try to build upon that and eventually or hopefully try to make a run at the national tournament championship.
Finally here, now a senior, what's it like knowing this is your final go-around?
It's bittersweet, man. It's I can remember coming in, fighting for my spot in as a freshman and wondering if I was going to red shirt or not. But just all the experience I've had with this team and throughout my 4 years, all the guys, all the vets and the alumni that I've met, and it's been great. It's been real great.
Well, Noah, we thank you for your time, and best of luck to the Bulldogs as you travel on the road this week.
Appreciate it.
We'll be back with more Ferris Sports Update right after this.